Yesterday morning, the occasional person to stop and dialogue with me in front of the White House in conversation with one or several of them. I spoke with all clarity about how I expected that on this fast, this hunger strike, they'd be carting me away. I estimated that would happen somewhere around 30 days. I'm much, much weaker than I used to be. And not 10 hours later, I was terminating the fast. Possibly I'll never have the clarity to know just what's going on. Am I much less strong physically than on earlier hunger strikes? No question. Age, the toll of the prior hunger strikes. I never feel strong anymore. I never feel myself anymore. But I don't think that was it. It may have been. It may have been all of it. But I don't think that was it. By last night I was hungry. I was aware that I was coming up on the threshold where the large intestine shuts down, and restarting it is an arduous process, but not before. I was not aware of that before. The thought would dart into my mind from my heart, demanding that I justify what I was doing, that I re-examine what I was doing, particularly as it related to what is the chance this will make any difference. What is the chance that this is the best way for you to serve? And I couldn't summon an acceptable answer to that would justify me staying on hunger strike. The whole thing was unexpected by me, but I make no apologies for that to you or to me. I'm frantic. I'm overwhelmed. I'm distraught. I'm horrified with what's facing us and that we're not facing. And I don't apologize for that. Rather, if I didn't feel that way, I would owe you an apology. This is overwhelming, what we're facing. It's horrifying. It's frightening. It's terrifying. I would owe you an apology if I didn't feel all those ways. I'd also owe you an apology if I were falling apart, if I were being any of those descriptors in the negative sense. No, I'm not. But I'm trying to be my part of a solution to an impossible situation. Using 60 years of wisdom, 60 years of study, 60 years of experience, desperately trying to find a crack in the apparently insurmountable wall of denial, insanity that's dooming us. I didn't see the fast coming. An image came to me during the process of it coming. That was a great gift, the notion that we're a corpse, and that President Obama, such a great man, is not here to put makeup on the corpse, to dress it up for the funeral. He's here to try more. That was a tremendous gift. And in seeing that I needed to try and communicate that to him, that said that, okay, what am I going to do to try and communicate it, to try and support his ability to see that? And the fast came to mind, and off I went. But yesterday afternoon, as my heart was demanding that I look further, was there a snowball's chance in hell that he was going to, in his lifetime, know that I had been on fast in front of the White House and maybe perished? I could come up with no answer than no, not a snowball's chance in hell. That led to a significant new revelation for me, but not until I had taken some calories later. So without being able to find a shred of hope that my effort would contribute to the cause, I ended the strike last night after 3 full days. Extremely weak. Much weaker than earlier, so early in the campaign. And of course I've been thinking ever since. One thing that occurred that has come to me is, and I'm thinking back to my earliest hunger strike things that were said to me. Gandhi was known, he had a following. I was hugely impressed with what I've come to learn in the last week about Alice Paul, thanks to a stout young soul, Liz, who told me about her. If you haven't seen the movie Iron-Jawed Angels, see it today. It's a stunning movie about a stunning person and movement in the suffrage movement, women's suffrage movement. And in describing this fast I was going on, I mentioned her. And it was so evident from the movie and so believable that in her hunger strike, she didn't know there'd be any positive outcome. She didn't know what would happen. She just knew that she couldn't live with the status quo, and she couldn't see what else to do. But after taking calories last night, a new perspective came to me about her and King and Gandhi and others that have put themselves on the line in such a definitive way. Did she know what would happen? No. But she knew she wasn't alone. She knew that there were people of great courage in her circle, of great mobilization. There were warriors in her circle. She knew that she was on the radar screen with publications. This is not to say that her hunger strike was some sort of calculated manipulation. Clearly it wasn't. But nor was she reckless, nor am I. She was part of a warrior network. She was on the radar screen. The same was always true of Gandhi from his earliest efforts, as near as I can tell. He was part of a warrior or latent warrior network, and just on the cusp of being a warrior network. Maybe small, but nonetheless. And he was on the radar screen of a small but capable group. None of that is true of me, and it's less true today than it was last year or the year before or the year before. I've been so marginalized. I've been so dismissed. But it's not just that. No, much more significantly, there is no warrior network. There is no warrior network. There is no warrior network. This is a corpse. This is a giant corpse. Apparently the population of women in the, I guess it was 1918 period, was 20 million. There were maybe 200 warriors, and they happened to be in the network with Alice Paul. Well, the population of women today would be, I don't know, 5 times that. Let's say 5 times. That would be 1,000. And if we double that for men, that would be 2,000. There aren't 2,000 warriors in this country. There may be 100. And they're certainly not in any network with me. And I have the benefit of 3 major hunger strikes within the last 3 years on this issue, within the last 2 years on this issue. Ample evidence that I'm on no media radar screen. Rather, I'm carefully kept off of it. Relentlessly kept off of it. Easily kept off of it. Just dismissed. I've never had such clarity on this issue. Maybe I'm to be criticized for that, but I'm glad I didn't. And I'm okay with the fact that I do now. For myself and for others, I may soon publish a brief go, no-go, or strategy document relative to hunger strike, and these will be significant new insights in that. When I realized I saw not a glimmer of hope that I could reach President Obama, I also at the same time gained a greater appreciation for his perspective. He should not have a glimmer of hope that if he declared war, as I was suggesting, on the genocidal U.S. policy on the Palestinians and on environmental Armageddon, he would be a fool to think that there was a warrior network that would activate. There isn't. So his strategy and mine will be to continue to grind toward that point, with the horror that every month that passes, more and more people are irrevocably condemned.